All right, let's get started. So first off, the first thing we're gonna do just to make sure everybody's got a good sweat going is we're starting forehead to forehead, right? But you're probably gonna fight. If they don't want to lick at you and they're fighting, you already won. Okay. So forehead to forehead, and I'm gonna try that. We're gonna continue looking at matching each other's height while we stay forehead to forehead. If you lose forehead to forehead contact, you actually lose. All right. The next objective is to constantly have more hands on them than they have on you. So start playing. Okay. But we're looking to match forehead to forehead the whole time. Make sense? Okay. Continuous. Try to maintain the connection. Forward pressure on your forehead the whole time. Okay. More hands on them than they have on you. What's up, Chad?
What's up, dude? Ah, you got the hand of ponytails.
Yeah, I had to.
Looking real Musashi over there.
It was just getting pulled too much, man.
So they start stepping on it. Killing you, he's a winner, so.
Yeah, well, I was getting pinned by knees. Like stapled to the mat, and it really hurt. Forehead to forehead, hot hands. What's that? Yeah, you're hand fighting. You're just keeping your forehead contact. More hands on them than they have on you. If they have hands on you, you need to worry about it. You don't hold it. Fighting back to the inside, stripping that grip, make your own grips. You grip it, go where you want. Them and they don't have hands on you. Oh, great. Super the thing. Right, yeah, and you are forehead forward, more like instead of the inside your head. It's much harder looking for. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Moving on. Chassis. Next game we're looking to do. We're playing the same kind of game, but I want you to have good inside position. Always be looking for good head position, good grip fighting. But the ultimate goal of this game is to end for the collar side elbow. Right? What I mean by that, collar side and elbow in the clavicle. Right here. So that push him and I can pull him. Once you've established a collar tie and any other grip, if I get a collar tie for 2 seconds and he's unable to clear this, then you win and reset. Okay, so he's going to start working and clear. Right? I want you to, kind of silly, I want you to count out loud. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. All right? That way you both have an objective standard of, yes, you did it for 2 seconds. Right? Objective, right?
So, you know, I'm fine with that. Spanish right back.
I want to hear you say, come on, Spanish. Well, represent, man. Represent.
I don't know Portuguese, though.
All right. So grab a collar tie elbow, specifically, like not just the collar tie, but a collar tie elbow. All right. If they start counting in there, they're not even touching with their elbow. It's all bullshit. All right.
I'll just start yelling it.
Once you got the grip.
Yeah, you want to maintain that for 2 seconds. Yeah, you want to absolutely push that car.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it, and then when you get it,
Once they have the grip on you,
see how long.
once they have the grip on you, clear it however you need to. Okay, clear it however you need to. Once they have it on you. Okay.
Yeah, my shirt is cold.
You don't have to stay forehead to forehead.
Okay.
Gotta have your own fucking day. Respect. No, no. Thank you. What you got going on there? Yeah. Hang on there. What's there? What's there?
Yeah.
Hit you with that shit too, like perfectly. You actually smacked it on my head. One.
30.
Yes, we are. I installed this year.
Hey, when y'all are grip fight like this, you gotta be thinking about using your head, not just like in a mental sense, but literally physically using your head, right? So I see, like, that's what I was trying to say in that match, in that little sequence there, was you had all this dominance on the inside space for the grips, right? But your head's way out here. When you have this, right, we need to get our head involved, and we want to make sure we take a look at all this space. But if I use my head to gain inside position, now my grips can progress much more effectively because I'm already dominate the inside space with my head, right? So we're winning the grip fight. We close distance, and then our grips can actually progress into better grips. But just something to think about, right? All right. So this month, the kind of whole like big picture here is going to be guillotines and kind of front headlock system more broadly. So what we're going to do first today is I'm going to show you a flow. You're going to do this flow every single class in addition to the techniques we cover. And you're going to do 25 reps of this flow every single class. That's each that you do. Okay, and no, we're going to start standing. So by the end of the month, assuming you come to 2 classes a week, you should do like 200 reps of this. So you should pretty well have it by the end of the month. Okay. So the first thing we're going to look to do is, I'm just going to go and show you the flow. So, and then we'll get into the specifics. So I'm going to look to hit a snap down on them. So as soon as I'm ready, I'm going to hit snap down into front headlock. Okay. I'm going to break it down. Right now, we're going to start to cut our angle. He comes up to the block, or he doesn't, but if he brings his head up the block, we're going to look to maintain this elbow control here. Around the corner. Go sit through to this arm and guillotine. He's going to start working his escape. Yep. I'm going to come up on the side.
Huh?
Come on in, side control.
Side control?
Yep. There you go. Yep. You'll pull yourself up back. Remember? Please, number. Yeah, it's a good number. It's all good. Yeah. All right. One more time. One more time. All right. So by the end of the month, you'll do 200 reps of this. You're going to hit snap down to front headlock. Okay. You're going to start to go behind. And we're going to stick to this close guard guillotine. He's gonna hit his escape, posting up, post up and roll up. You did it right last time.
I did it right last one.
You did it right last time.
Oh.
I just want you to finish the end.
This one?
Take inside or take a grip on post on my choke arm.
Now?
Yeah, now defend the choke as you climb up to the side you draw.
Oh, this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so that's the flow, but we're about to break it down into several steps. And then at the end of class, you're gonna do that 25 times, okay? The whole thing. So first thing I want you to do is just 10 reps, snap down. So I want you to, again, we're always protecting our lead leg. We're always doing a rear hand reach, right? We're looking for inside grips. We're looking for, on this initial approach, match head height. We make contact, then we, with one, then two, right? One, then two, or technically 2 and 3, right? Because our head needs to get involved too, right? But as soon as now that I have my inside position, so I can actually manipulate him and pull him and push him around the mat. Now, when we're ready, we're going to take a step away with our lead leg. We're going to step away and pull him, trying to put his face where our lead foot used to be. It goes up. Instantly, we're also crawling into our front headlock, which we'll cover in a second. I just want you to end this drill with just a chin strap, and I want you to lock your hands right there around the knee, and we'll stop there. Okay, and then we'll go on to discussing the actual front headlock in a moment. But everybody hit 10 quick reps, just snap down. All right, questions? All right, 1, 2, 3.
All right, you want to go to third man? Sure. Okay. Wow. Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Is it 10?
It is 10 right
There.
Yeah, 10 reps
for each of us or in total?
each. Yes. Thank you.
Wait, how do you, so you pull them to your lead leg?
What's that?
You pull them to your lead leg?
Yeah, so we have our lead leg, and then I'm gonna pull him as I kick this lead leg back, and try to put his head where my lead leg, my knee or my lead knee was.
All right, gotcha.
Get 10 reps a piece, and then circle back up.
Right. Thanks. I think that's what I was saying. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, what was that it? Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
He kind of butt fived you. Your butt's kind of like right in the chin.
I think you like to explain what happened. I did, dude. Jig looks like a jig.
Oh, yeah.
don't think they're gonna take you out anymore.
Yeah, just manhandle him.
Okay, it's possible. That's Chipotle, by the way.
If I do my face.
Oh, man, you probably have a little. I need to pull away. No, I mean. See you later. Okay. Bro,
I respect it. Same. Bring business. We're seeing react. They all done. Yeah.
Yeah, they were moving.
That's why.
Okay, I was wondering, like, I wonder if we actually have like just birds we can.
He works on toy yet.
Little.
Nick Nicholson.
Not now, but I think we got.
Hey, one quick detail on this is when you're going for a snap down, like ideally it's up-handed. I don't want to like let's attempt to set these up on the same side as our collar tie. Have our lead leg be on the same side, right? Instead of trying to kind of awkwardly snap them over here. I don't really get nearly the amount of power or momentum generated from moving my hips back. It's just kind of awkward. I feel like I'm in my own way, right? So instead, even if I'm left forward, but I'm right collar tie, which I often am because I lead with my left, even though I'm right-handed, it still is going to be I'm going to push into him, and then as he gives me that reaction back, I've already stepped into him, so now I'm right leg forward. Does that make sense? Also, secondly, keep in mind with all wrestling, right? We're looking to have them do the work for us as much as possible. We're looking for those reactions where I don't have to necessarily manhandle him. I can push it, and at some point he gives me the resistance I want, and then I can take it away. Right. Then I can let it go where he wants it to go. He wants it going to, okay? This idea of give him a reaction, he'll give me a reaction back. And that's what makes like beautiful jiu-jitsu, right? If you ever see something that just looks perfect, it's because everything was timed with momentum in mind. Okay. All right. So next up, what I want you to do, you got 10 reps of your snap down. I want you to get off the same kind of setup of just collar tie elbow. Take any other inside grips you want with your hand, whether it's wrist, bicep, shoulder, I don't really care. No matter what, as always, when I'm pushing the guy around the mats, where I'm managing distance, right? I don't want distance coming into me except on my terms. I got thumbs involved. When I want distance to come into me, right, on my terms, I'm going to take the thumbs away. When I pull, I take the thumbs away. When I push or I'm holding him at bay, I have thumbs engaged, okay? Now, I want you off that same grip. I want you to start setting up your single entries that we were working the past few weeks, okay? So again, when I want to make him take a step, I can push him around the mat, however I so choose. When I'm ready to attack a leg, I'm going to take a step away from the leg that I want, and I'm going to pull, right there. And then he brings the leg to me. Now I can come under. Remember, we don't disconnect. We maintain connection at all times. As he brings that leg and starts to plant, I'm already coming up under and getting in on the single. All right. I'm not coming too low with my head, and I'm not coming way up here. I'm taking the crown of my head right into like the bottom of his pec, and I'm driving forward to collect the single. Okay. One more time. We're 10 reps of this. All right. Now I know we're doing front headlock, but trust me, this is applicable. We'll get there. Right now, I just want you to do 10 reps. So I can push him. When I'm ready, I can make him take that step that I want by stepping away from the leg I want to attack and pulling. He brings it to me, come under, and the crown of my head goes to the bottom of his head, kind of his ribs, and I'm running through him. Okay? Questions on that? All right, 1, 2, 3. 10 apiece, circle back up, please.
That's one part of it, right? Oh, right.
No. but it will be relevant this month because we're going to do a lot of ancillary stuff related to the front headlock system that's not necessarily part of that flow. Like,
I'm just curious on it.
like guillotines off the single leg. So I'm also getting them used to the dilemma between going for legs, going for head when we're wrestling. Right. So like I go for the leg, he exposes his head for the snap down, or vice versa. Or I go to snap down, he yanks his head back, now I got the leg. So it's relevant, but it's not part of the flow. It's relevant for the month. Working with those bros, bro. Yeah.
And you want forward movement after the leg pickup, right? Like you're moving into him.
Yeah, I want you to run into them, run through them, walk through them, Ian. Tucker, I finally got film for you, bro. We can finally take pics. Ray told me he needed a new profile picture for his grinder. So
Like the dad bod really knocks it out of the park.
That's a
Everyone needs a nice bear in their life.
lot of magic. Dad spots are in right now, man. Chicks are active. I said dad spots are in. Chicks are active.
They really are. My wife's supposed to go, so honestly, it's worse.
Going to Nika.
allows absolutely like not every like especially if like you feel like I stepped away in the pool that was like that number far forward that I needed to. Yeah, I might have something like that. That's what I was I think
Let's just reach around.
I like that. It's all right. I maintain this connection with my head. And it's hard for me is the connection with my head. If I mean, yeah, but that's just me being. So like you said,
Yeah, he did.
I got expecting in there.
So, David, you find I don't even realize I'm doing it. It's like forehead into the head. Here, even though it's yeah, right from here, maybe torso. Yeah, when I forehead.
When I just when I
Yeah,
that's too.
that's why you are.
yeah.
Probably I'll go here. Because I got all ready to go.
Right.
But there's also like, you know, when I was working with these sides of stuff, if you try to shelf the leg. Yeah. Okay, small.
I was curious. If I felt you that,
That's like a,
I would like.
but I push your head down, just control.
Yeah.
Do we have to grab the trap? I grab bicep thighs, but wow, they're right. Grab it.
I feel what that.
This is like way better. Stuff we got, you could double over. So I guess. Yeah, I do this. My grips, my phone number, or it's always just a big grip, right? I put it away, so that even if he ain't go back, he's actually taking it from lower with ball.
Yeah, I think that's how. I'll let go and then come in.
That's more of an infinity part.
Well, no, I was laughing because he doesn't like the game. And so people are so like, he's gonna have to do reps on it to get it. It's not gonna be accurate. He like,
Yeah, my real life. Like, what we do naturally.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, that can be something.
Yes.
I'm just laughing at you.
Yeah.
It's a good thing, like, after taking one for you, hey, you're doing a lot better job keeping your head connected. You know, without something like you would.
Let's try to sort it out.
Okay, some clarity on one leg. Like, I'm gonna reach over the back.
Yeah, that was better.
Don't worry about the hang down. The air. Drive. So make it empty, put your forehead in it, his lower back, wrist. And keep your head.
I like spicy games.
That's spicy. Yeah, like that. It's spicy.
Yeah, that was like some hot heat on my apple.
Keep your forehead, rub it in it.
What, you want hot heat?
He's gonna go to the ear thing.
If you got 10, they're close. I know you got 10. Easily got 10. All right, next you're gonna play a game. The game is single or snap. So off the same, we're gonna start. One person's going to start with all the inside position. All right. Whatever inside grips you want, as long as it's a collar tie and elbows involved. Head position wherever you want it. You experiment with whatever. Inside, secondary inside grip, wherever you want. Okay. One tip that I just gave Tucker in case you don't know. If you're gonna control at the wrist, right here, remember fundamental weakness in the human grip is here, right? That's where it's gonna be weak. So here is not nearly as strong as coming over the top, kind of pronated and rolling out, right? Because look, my index and thumb connection is facing you guys now. So even if he goes to yank it away, his elbow comes further away from his trunk, which is advantageous to me. Okay, and also this is just much stronger for me to manipulate, right? Than versus this, because this is a lot of like bicep and shoulder, like medial delt. This is a lot more like I can use like my own posture to manipulate this.
Is that a Danaher thing or a 10th planet thing, or is it just like,
This is a Danaherism.
okay?
Yeah.
I thought it was. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, it is. But like we're going over the top and walk forward. Okay. This allows me to create pathways to his legs. But the game, start with whatever grips you want. Okay. You can do this. I'm not saying it's wrong. Do whatever you want. Figure out what works for you. Just giving you some tips, some guidelines. What I want you to do is the game is you get to keep this grip as long as you want until the bell rings or you can successfully hit a single leg entry ending here. Okay, just with the trap leg or a snap down. Here, okay? Single or snap. It's one person going the whole time, okay? Unless, well, actually, yeah, one person going the entire time, and then we'll swap. So you get to keep that grip the whole time. Person defending, you're just simply trying not to get snapped down or get the single taken on you, okay? When they go to shoot, you can do whatever you got to do to keep them from getting it. But you can't clear their grips until they're actually taking like an offensive, making an offense against you, like actually going for a snap or going for a shot. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. Action is the word I was looking for. Offensive.
Clacker.
What's that?
Oh, action.
Wait, JC, so we can't clear their grid?
No,
There you go, there you go.
no. You're just looking to not get snapped down or a single. Okay, but without stripping their grips.
So we're starting with the collar tie.
Start with whatever grips you, as long as a collar tie elbow is one of them. Head and secondary arm can be wherever you want. Try to feel how these things interrelate to each other. You can threaten one to open access to the other. You can create a dilemma here where they have to defend a single and that opens up the head or vice versa. Guy defending, don't let him have it. You lose if they get it. Yeah, same person the whole time. And remember, you start with inside grips. Whoever's going with you, Chad and Braden, like you get to whoever's offensive, you start with all the inside position. Yeah, y'all are just grip fighting.
Fix your grip, gotta use that weird, yeah.
You gotta get your head in there, Chad. Specifically, collar tie elbow should be one of your grips too. Okay. Yeah, but y'all are grip fighting, so like you need to actually like take it and then start the game. Take whatever grips you want, including a collar tie, and then start the game. There you go. Careful, careful. Good job, good job.
Man, I'm freaking like close and then my wife's away, she starts. I got completely off one diet and then you straight after like in a couple of weeks, I think I'm back on my diet. Yeah, she, that's her thing, yeah. Yeah, she wanted to lift those.
30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds.
See, if I get back on my diet for like 2 or 3 weeks, or do stuff to do. Probably be here.
Yeah.
I think I figured out the
How's it gonna be a book?
I've got these green shirts I've been wearing for like 3 months. And I don't know, big problems with that. Why is it I just haven't fun. No, I didn't get it.
All right, water, 30 seconds.
Probably get a little. Week maybe.
That's a nice haircut, by the way. It's like you got lower shit.
It's not. It's gonna be here, really.
Looking like a big ginger bob. Nice. I like it.
Like spray paint.
I like it. Something I have to just.
What, yourself?
It's inserted.
Same thing. Like
Anything at all. I didn't stretch.
Kids came in here and like.
That's kind of weird, really. It's not much like.
Right.
Squat down, take your tires, stick a button in place. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, on the bell.
Right.
Next, other person going.
No, I'm talking
Right, yeah, you.
Here, you go to chat.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Like this problem.
Go here, like, type it.
Yeah.
I used to.
Better be careful. You were kind of like, you had your back almost. Last time you were there, you'll just do a back.
Yeah.
No, anyway. You like that?
It was like.
That's what I thought about.
Yeah, I guess I'm.
I really need.
I just wanted to just do that.
Really sensitive. Person like that. Yeah. Being about it outside.
One side of that, you know, but it's really that was opposite. They call it.
We got our arms are closed, got that grip.
Yeah, I'll say. They just kind of like nerves, like.
Yeah, I get like that. Where's the new one? It's just
They gotten better at single legs now that you've been away for a little while.
I think so. Task.
yeah. It's hard to if I got
All right, gentlemen, y'all feeling all right? Hey, I know. So the single leg, it's not related to like this flow, but there's other stuff as part of the front headlock system, guillotine systems that we'll be going over this month, where that's going to be very much applicable, right? The most obvious one being Chad shoots a single, but his head's on the outside the right stuff. I'm in guillotine territory, right? Whether it's arm out or arm in, but I'm in guillotine territory, right? So, but also offensively, even the dilemma between attacking is the same way that it's the whole reason we started hunting leg locks in jiu-jitsu. Why are we ignoring half the body, right? So if I shoot in for a single and he yanks it back, his head is now even more forward of his hips than it just was, which sets me in the snap down territory. Okay. Right. So like there's this dilemma between manipulating somebody's center of mass by getting their head above their forward of their hips, or you go for a snap down and he yanks back. That's legs there. Okay. So this is highly related still, even though it's not part of like the main flow that you're going to do 200 reps of, still very much related to front headlocks and then just like stand up in general.
This
Right.
is across, like total side note, this is across any martial arts system you will find anywhere. Boxing, karate, jujitsu, wrestling, all of it. All of this.
Yeah.
Like that concept of top of the body, bottom of the
Dilemmas.
top body, top.
It's all about dilemmas. Like that's what opens up more offense for us is dilemma. And the more that we're able to chain those dilemmas together, whoever dictates the offensive chain is enough. Whoever's kind of chaining together offense more and more is most likely going to win the match. If you just got the other guy on the back foot, the back heel the whole time trying to defend, you're dictating the pace. All right, so let's talk about front headlock. So first off, there's kind of like four completely different looking positions for front headlock. So there's kind of almost like four subsystems as part of the system. The first one being when we're standing, right? So like Chad goes to shoot whatever, and I'm able to get in a front headlock, okay, right here while we're still on our feet. The next one would be if we're sprawled, right? So where we just kind of have been terminating like our games, where he's kneeling and I'm kneeling, right? And this is another, okay? Third is when he's starting to pass and I'm seated, right? So we have standing, we have sprawled, we have seated, okay? And I'm able to feed here, but I'm seated, okay? So this is another variation of front headlock system. The other one is when I'm passing. So that seated is when he's passing. And then there's when I'm passing, right? So this is a lot more like, especially guys like that have a lot more movement-based game, like you prefer. This is going to apply to you, right? So this is where we're catching them in transitions, right? It's maybe like in my opinion, like less percentage, generally speaking, depending on the athlete. But if that's like your style, you like just like flowing from one thing to the next and hitting a lot of transitions, this is where your opportunity to shine is. So this is one of those where like this is just an example. There's all kinds of places, but it's just I'm passing, and as I go to pass, I collect the front headlock. Okay. So those are your 4 positions you're going to find yourself setting up your front headlocks. What we're going to work for this flow, right? We're going to work from all these positions for this month and maybe the next month. There's a ton of material here. The specific position we'll be in from the flow is the sprawl position, okay? Which is probably your most common one that you're going to end up in, okay? And it's also, I think, the most dominant because I'm on top, I'm not on my butt. It doesn't require athleticism or timing with the transitions, and I can, I'm not still at risk of like losing my balance, like when I'm standing up and he explodes into me or something like that, and I'm just on my back now. I completely dictate the pace once I'm in this like sprawl position. So I think this is the best one. So the things, there are 3 points of control, and we're about to play a game off this, so pay attention, okay? There's 3 points of control you need to think about when you want to control this position, okay? And that's all I want you thinking about right now is how to control the front headlock position, not how do I finish them. The finish is always there, as long as, like, you got to make love first, okay? All right? Does everybody make sense? Got to make love first before you want to get the finish. You know what I'm talking about.
I think I do. Chad, so
That's my boy.
all the love.
Take your time, all right? It's a romance, it's a relationship, all right? Take your time. All right. First is I want to control the head and the ability to pressure forward into me, okay? The way I do that is my shoulder position. What the most common mistake people make with this is where I need my shoulder is on the back of the neck here, okay? But the most common mistake people make here is they start creeping up too far north, kind of into down the spine. And this is where it becomes way easier for him to counter. It's way easier for him to start posturing, way easier for him to start coming out the corner. Exactly. Okay. So the first thing I want is my shoulder in the back of the neck. Okay. Right there. Nothing else. All right. And you'll see my shoulder is forward pressure. I'm not kind of like neutral. It's forward pressure. Okay. The same side arm is going to be, we're going to call this the primary arm. Okay. It's the side that I'm actually employing the headlock. Okay. I'm actually going to touch his head with it, right? That's going to be our primary arm. I want that controlling his ability to go away from me. So that's where the chin strap comes into play. Okay. I cup the chin just like this. Whenever, especially when we go to start attacking, we might shift this slightly, especially when we're attacking arm guillotines. We like to kind of gooseneck so we get more artery coverage. We'll start here neutral, and then later on, when we're not thinking about control, we're thinking about submit, we might transition up, okay? Or we can also start turning his face away, all kinds of nasty stuff here. The first thing I want you thinking about is just chin strap. So shoulder driving into the base of the neck, chin strap. My shoulder, as he starts trying to put pressure forward into me, I'm able to maintain, with no hands, I'm able to maintain this distance just from this connection. But keep coming. The minute that I come forward, now he can come out the back. Or he can grab a single, he can start wrestling up, all that good stuff. So it's imperative that we keep our shoulder at the base of the neck, and we're really disciplined about that. Okay. Now, I'm here. Right now, he can go backwards. Right? Now, he can't go backwards. I got my chin strap. He carries me with him. So now, if he goes forwards or backwards, I can trap him. That's all I'm disciplined about my shoulder position. Okay? Sorry. Third, all right, so we got shoulder, we got chin. Third is controlling this defensive elbow he has. Okay, we have to dominate this elbow. So, you can do this either arm outside. You can reach around, grab the bicep, kind of like the crook of the elbow, right at the base of the humerus. And you can control this way, or you can come underneath. In both scenarios, no matter what, both elbows when you're in a front headlock should be retracted towards your trunk. All right, you never want situations where either my secondary is kind of up here, but you see where my elbows just floating out here in no man's land. There's no power, there's no connection here. Okay, there's no control. Or turn around, if I'm out way out here or I'm really low, right? Even if I'm touching his chin, this is where he can actually even start taking my elbow on through and he can start coming out the back, popping his head out, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so if he pushes my elbow through, he circles his head out, he backs my back. Okay. So in both situations, primary arm, secondary arm, we want our elbows retracted toward our trunk. That makes sense. We're getting our lats involved. It's way stronger. We always talk about how generally it's always bad idea to have limbs extended away from our trunk. Okay, we're weaker. All right. So my primary arm, shoulder, chin strap, and then I'm retracting my elbow back. Okay, constant retraction of this elbow. My secondary arm, outside, back, inside, back. Doesn't matter. As long as I can take whatever grip I want, as long as I dominate this elbow and I'm pinching my elbow back. Okay, so in both situations, both are back. As he starts trying to get active, and we can start working from there. But we got to keep our shoulder on the base of the neck, chin, elbows back. Okay, that makes sense. Does anybody have questions? Okay. Do you need to see anything?
No, I like this.
Cool. All right. So now the game is maintain a front headlock. You're going to go for 2 minutes apiece. Maintain a front headlock for as long as you possibly can. Bottom person, try to get out of front headlock. To any other position, doesn't matter. Even if it was bottom, get out of front headlock. Deny their control of your head. Okay, make sense? All right, 1, 2, 3. Same person going whole time, and then the other person will get there 2 minutes. All right, go ahead and get ready. All right, it's on the bell. You're gonna start. Okay. Just if you get out, just reset. Same person going the whole time. Hey, y'all round robin, please, with Camden. Just round robin the whole time.
Shoulder to the back of the neck.
Y'all just round robin all the time. Just like a person.
From the get go, I know it doesn't seem like it works. I helped Des there for speaking.
Elbows back, guys. Elbows back, retracted to our trunk. A nice lat pull.
Take away and so. Why he's wearing leopard skin?
$30 seconds. Good. You can salvage that, Chad.
Yeah.
You gotta free your leg.
Having my leg free.
Yeah, you gotta keep that leg up. Yeah.
Wrong.
You're not gonna be able to finish anything.
No. 100% keep my leg out.
All right, switch up.
You go on me. King of Thunder.
I stood. Here's me.
your elbows, necklace. Constantly tension back. Alright, you got, yeah, you should be able to start sitting outside.
Leverage is at the end of his hand, John.
I know.
Kind of up toward his elbow.
I know. That was great. That was great. You just make.
And press it away.
It's so bad.
It's that wrestling sit out.
You understand what I'm saying? Kind of here, drop it here.
Have you gone there?
That was good.
No, have you gone like this rotating?
So I thought we had, just did it then.
Watch your head, Chad. Oh, real close to concrete. Oh, yeah, concrete. Shan, watch out.
I'm gonna get a quick back.
Fine, got it. All right, let's dive into hand breaks.
You want?
Yeah. Let's dive into the
Let's see. Does anybody have a hard stop at 6:30? Can we go a little over? Yeah.
Me?
Are you able to? You go a little over?
Probably.
Yeah. Anybody else need to stop? We're good. Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about, this is a review for at least half of you, but, finishing mechanics of the arm and guillotine, okay? So there's a couple different variations where you might enter this with only one, kind of one leg in, right? Or one knee in over the top here, or our preference is always, if we can get this. What's up, Josh? If we can get a closed guard arm and guillotine, we take it all, like, every day, no matter what. If we can get a closed guard around an arm and guillotine, we always take this, always. All right. What we're gonna, for this flow, we're gonna specifically set up the closed guard arm and guillotine, but just know you don't have to have the closed guard. That's just like best. But just like a typical guillotine configuration with your legs is good too. All right, but we're gonna go here. What I want you to focus on with the finishing mechanics is, first off, I've got to make sure I stay nice and crunched up. My body should concave. Okay. I want to try to get my chin up to the base of his neck, right? For me to actually finish this. What I don't want is as we commit, I don't want to be down here trying to finish him. Okay. His head it's much easier for him, his head to start popping out. He can start tripoding and start popping his head out of here. Okay. Because you see how big the gap that is forming here, especially as I get fatigued and I'm not able to really crunch in anymore. Because the mechanics, again, everybody's like always wants to squeeze, but the mechanics of this is really just taking my body and balling up. Like that's really where the power of this strangle comes from. It's less to do with like how much I'm squeezing and more to do with me compressing everything together by balling up. Right? I've captured his neck and his arm inside this ball, and then I'm going to start balling up and compressing everything. Okay, it's less. I should even be able to talk to you relatively easily while I do this. Okay, if I'm doing it right. Okay, and you can always apply squeezing. You can always apply isometric tension to make something even tighter, but we want to make sure we get mechanics down because the mechanics are much easier to employ when you're 6 minutes into a match, right? Than just squeezing. At least for me, because my gas tank sucks. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do, I want you to focus on here. I don't want you trying to finish this from your back. You should be finishing this from a hip. Okay, if that makes sense. So as I set this up, normally we're going to enter this from either a standing position or kind of like a half, kind of like 4-point stance, like we're starting to go behind from the front headlock, and that's how we're going to enter this. So as I start to come down, I'm already thinking, how do I sit out at an angle? Okay. How do I get my chin as close to his neck as possible? How do I get
my closed guard locked and already start retracting my knees towards my chest. Okay, see out here, no good. I want to retract the knees towards the chest, and then I also want to be able to back heel. Okay, so the knees come to me, and my heel digs in. Okay, all together though. Okay, so that's what's going on with our legs. We're sitting out at an angle, we're retracting the knees, and we're back heeling. Okay, what's going on with my hands? We had our chin strap earlier, right? What we're gonna do, we're gonna take this chin strap and we're gonna kind of gooseneck our hand and kind of turn in towards the artery, if that makes sense. Like turn in to where we're actually kind of pulse checking a little bit, if that makes sense. Right, so this is where I am. If you can't see, please come around to this side. I'm here on my chin strap. When I'm ready to attack the guillotine, it's a subtle shift. It's only like an inch, maybe two. I shift up and gooseneck my hand, and I'm pinching the artery. Again, my elbow is also still retracted. Okay, so I'm already starting to cut off a little bit of blood. From here, the gooseneck, I grab the meat of my hand. Okay, and then I'm going to close my fist so they can't start grabbing my fingers. Does that make sense? Because what I don't want to do is get in here in this situation. I got this nice choke set up, and then I leave my fingers exposed, and he's able to start reaching back and grabbing them. Yeah, I want to make sure that as I get in here, it's really, when I say cover the artery with a pulse check, this is just to get my wrist in the right position. What is actually cutting off the artery is this meat of my thumb right here. Because once this is just kind of like a compass, if you will, to get me in the right position, and then it's safe to close my fist. That makes sense? So I'm grabbing, I'm shooting through, I'm grabbing the meat, close my fist, and then the finish. So chin strap, gooseneck, close my fist, sit out at an angle, cross my feet, get my closed guard, chin to the back of his neck, knees retracting, knees to chest, back heel, and then the last finishing mechanic is my strangle elbow to my pocket to take his chin towards his chest. Okay? Are there questions on this? Do you need to see it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I felt it.
Okay. let's do 10 a piece of that, and then we're gonna run the escape, and then we'll be done. I would like you, if you are able to do 25 reps after class. If you can't, you'll do them on Thursday. But I think the beginning of the month, it might just take me a little bit longer to kind of set up the whole flow that we're gonna do. It's like 4 things in one. So if you're able to stay an extra 15 minutes before you roll and stuff, please do 25 reps, that whole flow. It's everything we've done so far, plus the escape that we'll do in a second after y'all both. So get 10 of these as quickly as you can. Then we'll do 10 of the escape, and then we're gonna do the whole flow if you're able to stay and do it. All right? All right, 1, 2, 3.
Are we starting?
Just guys, start like, start kind of like right here with Braden. Go ahead and start at the closed guard, and then just kind of sit into it for now. All right, because we really just want to drill the finish right now. We're not worried about the entry is kind of in between. We'll probably want to drill that separately on Thursday too.
I'm like trouble like squeezing like. How do you squeeze?
It's less
Like,
of a,
is it just pulling it?
it's less of a squeeze. So I'm chin strap. I gooseneck and check his pulse. That puts the blade of my thumb into the right position, into his other artery. Okay, so it's right here. It's kind of low into the trachea. When I shoot through, now it's on the artery. This. Now I grab the meat. I can close my fist now. Now my finish is not a squeeze. It's an elbow to pocket. It's a side crunch.
Wait, is it only putting off one artery or both?
His shoulder's cutting off the other artery.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Got it.
So we're gonna be here. Okay. Oh no, sorry. The blade of my forearm is cutting off the other artery.
Okay.
Yeah, but the finish is elbow to pocket. Cradle the baby, if that helps you out. Whatever it takes. Yeah, I think of it as an oblique crunch because that's what it is.
Yeah. You're like, it helps me to get this thing out.
And then you just swing this thing like you would normal. There. Yeah, to get
Make it easier, so you got-
Yeah. So
You're putting on this already.
Yeah, it's called the free game.
So like you bladed wrist is putting on the side, and then your hand is. Yeah.
The way you're able to like bust the pads or interesting. You get in there and then you're like trying to pop their head off their body, basically.
Which is more pain compliant than it is.
And it's a lot more area. I got feeling before, for sure. Because if you get them there, you have to aim them. When you try to pop their head off, it's a lot of things. But it's not. It's like, unless you just happen to fall, they like, yeah.
This is for normies, this is for crack.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
You're like wrapping up.
You're like.
Yeah. You come around
Right up to.
then you're here,
Channel, come back. there's no-
and you fall to the side,
Off the ground, much to kick.
and you're not trying to do the pop the head off. You're trying to trade it, just help them to the pocket. Just do it this, and then make it.
Yeah.
Put your hand on the head, you're trying to pop their head. You're filling this void touching down. What the old way of doing it was you fill the void and then you try to like.
We're always, remember guys, when we go, any form of katagatame, this is katagatame, which means head and arm killer, all right? So any, whether it's Dars, Anaconda, Army Guillotine, all katagatame, the finish mechanic is always be thinking chin to chest, chin to chest. How do I take their chin to their chest? Okay, if you're pulling your chin away from the chest, you're not doing good finishing mechanics. You're just neck cranking or maybe crushing the trachea. But this will leave you most fights, but this is for crackheads, and this is what we need, right? We want to make sure we can finish the crackheads.
Just put that on a t-shirt.
Crackhead.
Yeah, t-shirt.
Get the FG shirt, finish the
Bring it
crackhead.
on.
I'll make it a great school.
I'll wear that.
Don't worry about
Get your chin on his neck, yeah. Back skills. If you're sufficiently like on a hip at an angle, when you take your elbow to pocket, you should actually visibly get to see their chin going in towards their chest.
Did that feel like it was choking?
There's like
We're gonna cover this more on Thursday, okay? So don't feel, if you feel like you're not getting it, we're gonna have a whole other hour on it. Circle up when you have 10, guys. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I gotta run that.
So, man,
Hey, you,
yes, I'm just not sure who you. Okay.
all right.
All right, guys, we're not gonna do the final one. I don't want to go over too much for y'all. We're definitely gonna cover it on Thursday. And we're definitely gonna do 25 reps of this, so we're not gonna cover all the stuff we did tonight again on Thursday. So please, if you feel like you need to review in order to complete 25 reps on Thursday, please watch class for tonight. It's already on YouTube now, it goes there automatically, so,
A couple of changes coming up for the gym that y'all should know. First off, we have Alabama State grappling tournament on May 10th. I'm gonna compete. I think Camden's gonna compete. I would love to take a couple more of you, you guys out there.
What is this?
Alabama State.
Alabama State Grappling Federation. It's another new one from BMAC. It's gonna be at its gym. And we're gonna go, I'm gonna drive the day before, stay the night, and it's all day, May 10th, so it's a Saturday. So I would love to take a crew. He specifically asked me to bring a crew, so I would love to take some of y'all. And then we have some schedule updates coming soon, probably 2 weeks from now. I'm not gonna change it yet. I just wanna make sure everybody knows, because then I don't want like people to be confused. You show up and like, oh, it's actually not class. So I'm gonna be communicating those via email and WhatsApp. But just so you know, broadly speaking, the games are great, but we are gonna go back to just one day on those until we have enough participation where I think like we really want to do two. And then we're also going to start differentiating between class and practice, is what we're going to call this. But class is what you just experienced, and it's what we've always had. Practice is where if you want to compete or you think you want to compete, I expect you, anybody can come to practice, but I expect you to come to practice if you're going to compete or you express interest in competing. You can't compete if you don't come to practice.
What days are that?
Those are most likely, as tentative, most likely going to be Monday, Thursday, Saturday, when I'm here. But that's not final quite yet. But practice is going to be a much more intense environment. So only come if like you're okay with that. Like I don't demand, I really don't demand a whole lot from y'all in class, because you pay to be here, and like I'm not gonna abuse that. But also for those of you who want to get as good as possible, as quickly as possible, want more of a coach relationship out of me, that's what practice is for. So if you want to come in and work hard, be pushed, maybe hate your life a little bit in the best ways, then you should come to practice. There's no obligation to come to practice, and it will not affect you with me at all in terms of your belting and that kind of BS. But just like if you want to compete, or if you just want to come to practice, expect to like work way harder than we did tonight in class. Okay. I'll be communicating more about this on WhatsApp and email, but just letting y'all know that's going to be like where we're at going forward. It's starting in a couple of weeks. And if you want to compete under the Grapple name, then you have to come to practice.
When's the competition? When is
The next one's May 10th. Yeah, but there's several opportunities to compete throughout the year. But just if competing is even on your radar, like at some point this year, you should come to practice. You don't have to come to every practice. When we have camp, like we're actually like, we have a date locked in for a match for you or a competition for everybody, whatever it is. You're expected to be at every practice if you want to compete.
Did Newbury have enough participation that they're gonna come back in the fall?
I don't know. I heard it was like less than 100 people, but I don't know anything else.
And AGF was that same weekend.
Yeah.
So that.
Or crackhead scheduling right there.
Yeah.
But we got several things. So we got May 10th in Alabama. I would love to take at least a couple more of you guys. And we can get Airbnb or something, try to make it fairly cheap. And then I think we got a Naga in June or July. Whoever wants to do that, I think that's in Louisiana. I think it's New Orleans, yeah.
Aren't you at Hudson doing it?
Maybe. I know Hudson is. For me, it's just a matter of like if I can accommodate with my schedule. Like I'm already. What's that?
The knock on Monday.
I think so.
I think,
Yeah.
so I was thinking about the knock, there's cold.
Okay. Cool. Just if tournaments are on your radar, like I didn't know about that, right? So like if tournaments are on your radar that you haven't heard anything from me about, please like talk to me so like I can know as your coach and try to make plans to be there. If at all possible, I'll be there to corner you no matter where the thing is. But I need notice because I have 2 little kids at home and try to be there for them. So Pensacola is great though. I can make it a family beach trip. Great. That's how I sell my wife.
I think when I saw it, like, the time frame away that I just trained for it. But see what I can do.
Cool. Are there any questions about anything I said?
I can do the Tuesday or Monday, Thursdays. Saturdays are
Yeah, I'll never make a Saturday. I haven't worked.
Oh, so,
Well, after Mother's Day, I'll be able to make Saturday.
so talk,
Up until.
so this isn't starting this week or next week anyway, but stuff like that, if you have a reason that you can't make a practice, like, let's just talk about it, all right? I just, if you can't make a sufficient number of practices, please don't be upset if I say you can't compete, all right? We can work that out, just talk to me, okay? Don't assume that you can't, just don't even try, just come talk to me, have a conversation with me.
Are you like, say, you're offering 3 of those a week, is it like try to make 2 out of 3?
When
Or is it
when
just-
we're not in like camp for any particular competition, and I define camp currently as roughly 8 weeks out from a match, whether it's your
That was my
own
other
super
question.
fight or it's a tournament, whatever it is, like your own match. I would define it roughly 8 weeks, and then that's where we're gonna need to see. Ideally, I want you to have a practice unless you have a really valid excuse. And again, just talk to me. I care more that like you're taking it seriously as an athlete if I'm giving you like extra time and attention to try to be there and also like travel and be there for you as a coach. I care more about like that you're actually taking it seriously. You're not just blowing me off for a girlfriend or some BS like that.
That's my reason.
Okay,
Louisiana.
well, but that's a different situation, right? Y'all are on this. You know what I mean, all right? I'm not. You know what I mean. Again, you talk to me. That's all I'm asking. Yeah, just I'm pretty easy to talk to. All right. Any other questions?
Is there any siege stuff?
I haven't heard anything. I can reach out. I think there will be some more opportunities to compete in the summer though. Even here, we're gonna start our grapple nights. I'm working on that. That'll probably be the 3rd Friday of every month at when we get started. So it'll be live streamed and you can enter your team and win a couple $100. It'll be pretty low key, but we're gonna invite all other schools in the area if they wanna bring a crew. And just do it every month for fun. But,
What are the weight classes for the May 10th?
uh,
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
I think it goes like, it's just like typical, like, 135, 145, 155, all the way up to heavyweight, like 225.
So it's about 10, it's not 15.
It might be about 15. I don't.
Are there rule sets?
Well, I'm right at the-
Oh, the rule
What's that
set is
for?
PGF. Okay, the PGF is a PGF rule set. I can get back to them in classes, or I can send you the link to their website. The rule set's PGF, so it's you're not getting it. There's nothing to be gained apart from a sub. You get a 5-minute match. You have like if you're standing, you have 20 seconds to take some form of shot or takedown opportunity, or you get penalized.
So there's no points.
There will be a judge's decision since it's not full PGF with like teams and stuff. So I think there is a judge's decision, but I don't think it's like necessarily point based. I'll have to clarify, but it looks based on what I read so far, it says PGF. The PGF is you only get points for kills like strangles or breaks. That's the only way you get points for your team in PGF. This also does feed into your rankings in PGF if you like want to try to compete professionally, like actually go for PGF.
What is PGA? The PGA Professional Grapple Association?
Yeah, so that's BMAX thing that so he's had it for like 6 years now, but it's cool. It's like it's effectively think of the NFL but jiu-jitsu like it's a team. There's a season. You play, one night a week for the whole season.
What do you mean a team draft?
Everybody plays everybody. Yeah, it's a team. So like you got there's a draft and there's say 5 teams of 5 right now. It's going to be more in the future. 5 teams of 5. Everybody fights everybody throughout the season, and you only accrue points for your team for kills and breaks. Draws don't give any points. So you got like fantasy league app that we're working on and all kinds of stuff. That's why I went over there, so like working on some of that stuff. So it's all things you love about sports, but for jiu-jitsu. Yeah. It's awesome. It's way more fun to watch.
And it stands for Professional Grapplers Association.
Yeah, federation. Yeah.
Federation.
Yeah. So I think it's probably the future.
Even marking the draft night, for the draft, like, it's like,
I
it's
just
draft.
drive for it.
It's live.
I still like it.
Oh, yeah, so the way, well, I'll let y'all say, anybody else have a question about anything I said that want to apply the whole group? Okay, I want to make sure y'all roll out, like y'all probably already getting cool, so I don't want y'all getting hurt. So that's all for now. The schedule hasn't changed yet, so it'll probably change in a couple weeks. I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time that it's probably gonna change soon. So, cool, thank y'all.
Y'all roll whenever you want to do that. So the way it's out. So there's like 5:30.
I'll solve it.
So you have like coaches and they get to come in and say, there's 25 eggs and.
Six minute round suck.
Five, no, bro.
Do your tripping.
I will not. Apply for that.
I just got daddy. That's I was fat. It's hard to move around.
Each one for 500 for 650 seconds. Eventually, since the men's does the night before, men's that is the honey ball right now, so they're back at 5 minutes block.
Well, what do you think? Shit.
I thought it was
Second time.
I literally told you I can call it time, so that's so great.
I felt like I was airborne for like ever. I'm rolling.
Yes.
I hope I got that one on the stream. That'll be great to watch later.
Oh, throw chairs on the mess.
That was so awesome. Been working for a while. That was the best. Rotate your shoulders. Rotate your right shoulder back, hard. Drive it back to the red wall. There you go, come out. Yeah. Don't get too eager from the connection. Get into position. Hard. Yeah. Left leg, watch it.
Together. What's like one person, one.
That was for that.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. It was
I knew it was happening. I was like, all right. So at this moment. I got an option.
That's cool.
Okay. All good. I'm good. Well, I was later, but probably the
Oh, sorry. So I have the maintenance for, huh? So I have the maintenance part of this.
I heard you.
Second. Honest job.
Love those reaction. Here we go. Front row.
I gave the dad like, I'm gonna go from that scene.
He's a heavyweight for you. Thanks, man.
Okay, see, were you recording that role?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna put that throw I have against you, bro.
You got to.
I'm so
Please do. I also have that, so everything recorded no matter what.
Okay, cool.
So if you ever get a clip, you gotta tell me, bro.
Yeah, you can watch me play cat, not bad, we can play it afterwards.
You got me twice.
I know.
You got me with the foot sweep, and then you got the
Yeah.
pin toss.
See y'all.
Yeah.
Later, brother.
You got me with the try.
I'm basically off.
I was basically.
I know, bro.
Sir, different time. Resistance is resistance.
I did keep my leg.
I tried to
Get you from
I got.
That's right.
Oh, no, I don't.
I'm not this good this way,
I need.
but I'm not.
Right on the leg.
I should have thrown my hands.
Extended it.
I was pulling out.
Where you were gonna say. That was, you hit me once before with that over there.
Yeah.
I should kill it.
Worse, you'll like it a lot.
Yeah.
You play something?
I'm just. Fine, so I know. So that's something that's weird. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really working on like hard. Like,
I don't know.
that's why I was like trying to get my knees back and knock your chest.
After more, like, no, it's for the.
Appreciate
It
it.
was like, every time you got me, and I was like, no problem, dude, I'm about to wait, can't see how many dollars position. I'm not gonna get out.
That's like, I catch JC in it, but he always like turns it into like something where I'm getting.
Yeah.
Fully committed.
I got kicked it from full grip because like somehow another dude was like set down thing, like,
And got my.
you know, so it was rough. I'm coming for you.
See what would be like. I didn't get there because I looked it up. And like, Charles did it. And it does seem like going to that outside yoga
they turn over, you let go of the legs, and they feel like they're safe, but you just climb into them.
I think it's similar to how.
It is hard for a big guy.
What?
I'm not breathing that bad for the big guy.
The phone too. Oh, that's a big Mac.
Lots of breaks help.
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna
I think
think
it's
it's
a story where they can do it.
One up there.
Yeah. Try that.
Okay.
Lots of lying, you.
Anyway.
I wouldn't expect that. It fit on my dinner.
600 rounds, scrubbed. A 7-minute round. Yeah, so yeah.
What's, how
It's 5-minute rounds with seconds. So it's like a base.
that again?
But where we crank that.
Right now, we frequent like 4 minutes of cramp.
So it's 5:28. But it sounds. I'm not used to it there. I get mad, so it's based on the, I want to sit there, you know what I mean?
You got him good. Oh, he got me. That was awesome. You want to go? Okay, hip toss. Yeah, yeah. That was awesome.
You can have me done with too.
I need more. I need my shit. I was speeding. When you went to get the hair out of my toes. And I was like, I was waiting for you to like take capitalization on that.
I don't want to think it's no longer, I think it's just a basic. Messing up the rear. Can you about later again? Yeah. I pulled you over and stuff. I think it's a some not like actually. I'll see. You know, you go see the bottom.
I learned a lot from UFC fights. So
Police guard. That's right. It's like this.
Yeah.
And like you hit him with your body. Oh, yeah, so.
appreciate you about that. You're not, I wouldn't do that. What's that? Forcing through the fake break. I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live. You're gonna keep it up.
I'm gonna really dump on the map.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep on you.
What you mean?
Whenever you get thrown, it's like, it's like,
Holy shit, I'm going for a run.
it slows down.
What was it?
Like in your face one.
The top.
I don't think so.
One first. You feel a crack in it. Like, oh my God. Does this work? Oh, thanks, later. Huh? Yeah. Oh, look at this position. That's incredible. I got it. Back to me. All right, let's go. So red is bad, man. It's like breaking bones or something. I'm Australian. Oh, I'm Australian. Yeah. That's right. I couldn't get my elbow in the finger waves. Yeah. Your legs will cross under me. I was trying to see a cat. Like, oh, wow. What? Take off my ear. Come on. Yeah,
I'm talking back into the.
Brandon. Oh, no, Matt really coming back. I knew it was.
Oh, it's like, did y'all see?
I was really wondering how that happened. Hey, that's really. What's his name?
I released Zach. Was it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Probes and lines. I got it. You want to read and analyze my stuff. Then there's a lot of feedback. It's like, and it's not really hard. I'm really through the state. Because that's why you're 5.
You know, no, I didn't come up with all that. Yeah, Coles. Yeah, Dollar Trail.
I think I'm yeah, but if you're
He didn't say that, but we know it is that, but it isn't. You're like, you're over there making her. Uh-oh. Oh. I'll tell you what, like, I'm going to class, see you later.
I think that's the general one. So, all the feedback I can relate to encouraging, but also like,
Yeah, we'll see if he ever gets
my
that.
own knowledge, my technical knowledge.
I'll say, yeah.
And call me like,
Like, hey, what's that?
Dad bodies.
I know. I want to.
Yeah.
I think he's dying. That's what you want to hold on. You think that? I'm maybe dying. You're not dying, boy.
Your wrestling is spot on. You're better than I am, stronger than I am.
Yeah, like trying to see on the ground, it's just kind of. Underneath the melting twilight. Huh?
When it got to the ground.
All right. It's a 90 song that. Natural wrestling. Natural wrestling.
Or my first community, you just,
What you got there?
like, yeah, look, what's my favorite?
Set it on there.
Now, is that my leg?
Okay, go for it.
Get that. I just want to. Dude, you got it. That's what
What excellent your accent.
That's how I ended up.
It's all good. I'm walking away from it. No water for it there. Oh, water for it. I know, man. Oh,
I saw like your position. Yeah.
Short.
I heard it.
Might be something that was sweat from.
I got.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Can they call like DH6?
Sweet, bro. I'm literally, that's like 3 months of work right there. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.